Guys, today we are here to talk about something that we've been talking about for a while already, which is exclusive buyers agency agreement. Looks like it's a lot of confusion out there. It's a simple form, and it's a form that's need to be signed as soon as you start working with your client, something that you need to sit down and go over. And one thing very important is fill up that page correctly, all right? So I'm going to try go over this with you guys and a little more detail this time, try it, okay? So the first thing, of course, is the buyer's name. So we're going to put any buyer, okay? Any buyer. Now, guys, these things are here to be filled. You cannot just put the name of the buyer and have that signed. You have to fill up everything. So as most of you know, and most of you working for New Direction, so is New Direction, Realty. Okay, what's your name? So it's going to be the name of course, your name, the name of the agent that's working with any buyer client. So on this case, my name, Mota, all right? Now, again, we're going to be putting the name of the agent of the buyer, any buyer. So, and you guys have to go through all these steps with your client, okay? So now the agency, okay, any buyer, whatever name it is, everybody is the broker to buy exclusive agent for the proposal searching for locations and purchasing real estate by buyers the following areas. So you guys in here, if you don't put nothing, as long as your client understand that any place in New Jersey, you're going to be representing all of New Jersey. If you want to be more specific or your client want to be more specific, you can go ahead and put Union County, Essex County, and whatever. But remember, guys, whatever you put in here, let's say that you just put Union and Essex and later on this client decide to go to Middlesex and they decide to sign with another agent. Nothing wrong with that. As long as they sign with another agent just for Middlesex, it's possible to be done. You also can amend this contract at any time. So no problem. If you start looking in Union and Essex on the beginning and then you decide to go to Middlesex, you guys can create another one just to include Middlesex. Or if your client is okay, when you explain to them, you just leave it open to New Jersey, okay? Now, you have to go over this with your client, which is buyer representations. Buyer does not have a business, so they have to represent. You have to make sure that you have to ask these questions. So you have to make sure that they don't have no business relationship with another brokerage. So that's a question you have to ask them. So because they're going to say that they don't have it, all right? They don't have no other buyer's agent agreement, so they don't have an agreement like this in effect for the area. Guys, remember when I say if you just sign for a specific area, they can sign with another realtor for a different area, as long as not for the effect area, all right? So if they already have a contract with somebody just for Middlesex County, you can sign them with them for Union County, for example, all right? So, but these are the questions that you have to ask your client if he has any protection of expiration period, okay? Because you're going to talk about that in a little bit. And you're also going to disclose to you that the information about the property they visit, any open house, any viewing, anything that he saw it prior to sign this contract with you, if he saw any houses already, okay? Now you're going to explain to them the agent's disclosure, how you're going to work with them, all right? So, in here, you're going to tell them that you can work with them as a buyer agent only, meaning that even if you become have a listing, you're not going to represent your client with your listing. You just represent as buyer agent. You also can do as buyer agent and disclose dual agent if the opportunity arises, meaning that if you have a listing and you have a client for that listing, you can represent as long as the seller signs the dual agency, and the buyer is okay and signs the dual agency. You represent both of the same transaction. Or you can represent the buyer agent and designate agent if the opportunity, meaning. So on this part in here, meaning that if you have a listing, and you have a buyer, and that buyer like that house and want to put an offer on want to see that house, you do not represent the buyer or the seller, but in this case, you don't represent the buyer. You have you go to your broker, and your broker will designate another agent in the office to represent the buyer. All right. So it's very important that you explain this to your clients, because sometimes you just explain to them, "Oh, if I have a listing, I can represent you both transactions." Yes, you can, but is that the best for your client? Is that what your client expects from you? So explain to them, and for any reason they don't feel comfortable in if they represent that you represent both sides, you always can do the designated agency. Okay. Now we go for the term of this agreement. All right. So I'm sitting with a new client right now. So I'm gonna say we start on August 21st, and we're gonna finish. I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to your client how you agree with your client. Let's say 6 months from now, which it's around February. So February 21st, our contract finished. All right. Now, or many days. So you can either put 6 months or put 80 days, 30 days, whatever. And on all cases, you have three business days, either you or the buyer, to terminate this contract, okay? Now we go to commissions as law. So it's no law. The governmental agency, trade association with the listing services has fixed the amount. So is no law say that we have to charge 6%, that you have to charge 5%. And it's very important that you guys understand this. I know you guys understand it. I know you guys think you understand it, but always negotiable. All right. So now in this form, we have negotiated the commission with the buyer. All right. So let's start in here. So retainer fee, as you guys know, New Direction Realty do not charge retainer fee. All right. So we don't recharge. For now, doesn't mean that we're going to change in the future, but for now is no retainer fee. So you're going to put no retainer fee. And of course, guys, if you put no retainer fee, you don't want to put no amounts in here, no numbers in here. So it's no retainer fee at all. All right. Now we go to the commission. The commission, if you agree with your buyer to have a percentage of the price, you're going to click it in. You need to fill up everything that needs to be filled up, guys. It's not just leave it in here and put it in here, or just put it in here and leave it blank in here. No, you really need to fill up everything. So on a commission, you're going to put the percentage, whatever you decide if you're with your client, 3%, 4%, 5%, 2%. So guys, just one thing, New Direction Realty do not accept less than 2%. So we don't negotiate it 2%. It's not a fix. You can negotiate. You can go 3, 4, 5, whatever you and your client come to an agreement. All right? Just don't bring it 1%. So let's say that in here, we're going to put 3%. So we're going to put in there. Now, you also have the option to have a flat fee. If you have a percentage, no flat fee, or you can have no percentage and have a flat fee. Okay? So again, you cannot have both. So if you go for a flat fee, let's say $15,000 that your buyer will pay you after closing, you just go in here and put it. Okay? Right now, we're just going to leave it with the percentage, which is most of the cases that's what happens, so 3%. And other. Well, I've been keep saying that, guys. Other, we don't accept other. New Direction Realty, we don't accept chickens, we don't accept wine, we don't accept cigars. There's no other. It's a percentage or a flat fee. Okay? Now, broker commission should be earned, due, and payable to by buyer under any of the circumstances. So you have to explain to your client that they are responsible to pay the commission and every time. So if buyers assign a legal representative to a contract to purchase, trade or exchange, acquire real estate, any real estate visited, so anything that you show them, view and introduce during the term of this agreement, regardless of the matter of which buyer visited, view it, or was introduced to real estate, except if the contract is timely disapproved under the attorney review section by the attorneys, or if the contract is properly, guys, very important, properly terminated and the parties not subsequently approve or reinstate the contract or agree to a new contract. All right? So, if for any reason the buyer, you have everything done, you're about to close, and the buyer decide, you know what, I don't want the house anymore. So that's not a reasonable, that's not a reason to finish the contract. All right, so you're entitled to your commission. But if the appraisal comes below price and they don't reach an agreement with the seller, so that the transaction will be canceled, so it's canceled correctly, it's no problem. So you don't get no commission, just like now, or like before. I mean, okay. Now on a section 5 in here, you're gonna put how many days after either the contract expires. So in here we put February 21st. So after February 21st of next year, or after you or your client terminate this contract. So you have 3 days, kind of a grace period. But then you can extend these. So let's say that you're going to put 10 days. So as long as your client agree, as long as your client understand, you're going to explain to them that these 10 days, these 30 days, whatever you put in here, meaning that any property that you show them during that period of time, during this contract was valid and enforced, if they go back and buy any of these properties, you're still entitled to the commission if they do it during this period of time, okay? Okay. If buyer defaults on the terms of valid contract, etc., blah, blah, blah. Buyers should pay brokers the total commission at closing, or if buyer defaults the term of the contract required the property, open buyer's default. If the commission is based on the whole part of the purchase, guys, it's very important in here. Purchase price should include all amount allocated to it, among other things, furnitures, furnishing, fixtures, and other concessions. So let's say that you make an offer for $400,000, but then is included the furniture for next $2,000 and the fixtures for another $5,000. So instead of 4 is 407. Right now you're entitled to a commission form 407 unless you guys agree otherwise. Okay. Now, commission from sellers. We still can get commission from sellers. So under the New Jersey law, seller may offer a commission to buyer broker as a cooperating broker. So the same as we do before. If the seller authorizes the payment to any commission to broker, the amount will be credited towards commission due to broker on this agreement. All right. If the amount of broker's commission from any source, including any offer or commission from seller, listing broker, buyer, etc., exceed the commission buyer has agreed to pay broker, then the excess will be credited to the buyers, unless again otherwise agreed by the parties. What it is meaning in here, I explained to you guys already before. So on this form in here, we said that we get 3% from the buyers. So let's say that the seller are offering 4. You don't get 4 from the seller and 3 from the buyer. Definitely not. You don't get 4 from the seller and because you have an agreement with the buyer for 3. So the maximum you're going to get on this situation, on this scenario here, is 3. Because that's what it counts is the contract we have with the buyer. So if you have a contract with the buyer for 3% and the seller offer 4, you're just going to get 3. Well, other way around. If you have the commission set up with your buyer for 3% and the seller just offered 2, you're entitled to 3. We're entitled 2 from the seller and 1 from the buyer. Okay? Now, if a seller is offering to pay buyer broker the amount of this commission, buyer has agreed to pay broker, buyer is directed broker to the follower. So in here, that's where you're going to disclose all of that. if your buyer say, please do not show me properties that the sellers don't pay commission, because I cannot pay, I don't want to pay. So as long as the sellers pay commission, it's okay. I will go for it, but if they don't pay commission, I don't want to see it. So you go in here, do not introduce buyers to any properties where the following condition exists. And you're going to put in here, which conditions? Seller don't pay commission. Okay? So if seller don't pay commission, you're not going to show that properties to your buyer, even if the property is the ones that you buy looking for. Okay? So that's another thing that you have to explain to your clients. So we're going to take this from now from here. And here. Okay? Now, and you're going to say introduce buyers to all properties that broker believe will be acceptable to buyers regardless of the commission being offered by the seller of brokers. So in here we just tell them that, all right, any property that fit your criteria that I think that is fit for you, we're going to show you. If the sellers pay commission, perfect. If they don't pay commission, perfect the same way. So you will be responsible to pay me that 3%. If the seller pays something, whatever the difference is, you just have to pay me the difference, or even nothing, depend if the sellers cover all that 3%. Okay? So make sure that you explain everything in here and you write it down before your buyer sign it. Okay? Buyer's duty, very important. Make sure broker's duty. Make sure you explain to your client, because you're going to charge them 3%. So make them understand what are you going to do for them. It's not just, okay, I'm going to show you some properties. And then what? Then they have to do. No, you're going to explain what you have to do. So you're going to explain that your duty to use diligence search to locate the property was acceptable for them. So whatever property that they're looking for, you're going to look all over the place, and you're going to do your due diligences to find that property for them. Exercise ordinary care and comply with all applicable laws and regulations. So you're going to explain to them that's part of that is make sure that you do everything by law and everything to help them. Use professional knowledge and skills to assist buyer to negotiate the purchase of the such property. Yes, so you're going to use your skills. You're going to tell them, explain to them that you're going to use their skills. You're going to see if the house is priced right, if you think the price is not right, what do you think? So you're going to help them with that prices as long as it's on their best interest. Help buyers understand financial issues, such as budgets. So because sometimes, buyers, they want everything. They want a house with pool, with tennis court and everything for a budget that just covers one-bedroom house. So you need to understand what they're looking for and make sure they understand what they need for, okay? Provide buyers overview of the current market conditions, how they may impact buyer purchasing power. So in this case, on this scenario, right now at this moment, we are at the seller's market. So you need to explain them and make sure they understand that sometimes the houses is going to be a little bidding war because it's a lot of people looking for the same houses because we don't have no houses. So you have to explain that to your client. Another thing that you're going to do is schedule showings of the properties. So for the buyer, you're going to disclose it to the buyer everything that you know relating to the property. If you know that property was on the market before and get out for some reason that was never fixed, if you know it, you need to explain that to your client. All right? You're going to prepare to negotiate with the seller or the listing agent, the seller agent, write an offer. So you're going to prepare the offer on the property that they want to buy. One thing very important here, suggest, and this in here is very important, suggest professional referrals. So you're going to suggest to your client attorneys, inspectors, engineers, title companies, mortgage companies. It suggests that you can, you're going to help them find some if they need to. If they don't have nobody, if they ask you for assistance, you're just going to refer to them, okay? After that, you're going to assist them to take care of the home inspections, assist to resolve the issues that arise, schedule a final walkthrough of the property, all that till the end, okay? If you have any other thing that you can do for your client that you promise to him that you're going to do it, it's going to be on duties, okay? Not others. All right? Now, buyer duties. So at the same time that you have duties for your client to help them out, to create all of these, the other thing around is the same. So they have duties for you. So they have to provide, and you have to ask them. Just make sure that you provide me accurate and relevant information. So you have the financial ability to purchase real estate. So if they already have a pre-approval, for example, you need to see that. You need to talk to the mortgage agent that they have, and to see exactly where they're standing for it, okay? You're going to ask them to advise you if any property information that they saw before with somebody else, with another brokers, with either the sellers, that they have saw before, okay? Now, submit through broker any offer or to purchase or contract on a property. So they have to understand they cannot go behind you and just submit an offer. They want to go through you. They have to go through you, okay? Very important. It's one on these duties that they work exclusive with you because they signed the contract, enter into an agreement with you, with the agency. So it's very important that they understand you exclusive, so they just can work with you during this, okay? Examine any property only by appointment. So if they want to see some properties, if they saw it on Zillow, on Trulia, whatever, Trulia, whatever they saw it, they have to come to you. They should come to you and ask you to go and accompany them to see. So you're going to make the appointment and you go with them to see the property, unless otherwise agreed by the broker. So for some reason you cannot go and you ask somebody to go for you. So, but that's something that you have to work with them. So they have to be okay with that. I'm sorry. Any negotiations and communication for the property, it got to be through you. So they have to understand that you have to go to condo due diligence to property in consulting with the broker. Okay? So with the broker, meaning you. Unless agreed by the broker, in writing, pay all products and service required examination evaluation. So inspections, COs, all of that, you got to be them, but they need to know. Okay? Other buyers, and it is important that they also understand that you don't want to be working only with that. So that's what he's saying here. It's that you may have another buyers, and it's okay if you show the same property to different buyers. They understand that you're going to show them the property that you show to them today, either today or tomorrow, you're going to show to somebody else because they have the same needs. All right. Now I'm going to be talking again about dual agency. All right. So under New Jersey law, broker may work with both buying and selling the same real estate transaction, which is called dual agent. Okay. Now, broker may act as a disclosure dual agent only if buyer agrees to sign the informal consent dual agency. All right. So the same, if you are doing dual, you already should have from the seller the same form. Okay. It's right. To work a disclosure dual agent, broker must obtain a written information consent from both buyer and seller. Okay, as long as buyer understands that, by agreeing both broker work with dual agents. Broker will not be able to represent buyer or seller full and exclusive. So they have to understand that you're going to be working with both parties. So it's hard for you you cannot push more to one side or more to another. You got to be equal to both, okay? Designated agency, that's something that is becoming right now under New Jersey law. And meaning that you as a buyer agent, if you have a listing for sale also, and that listing, how am I going to say? That listing is whatever your buyers is looking for. Instead of you represent as buyer agent, dual agent, you can represent them as you can have a representation as designated agent. As a designated agent, you bring that client to the broker, and the broker will assign another agent for your agency to work with your buyer or with yourself. So meaning that it's going to be two different agents, one doing the best for the buyer, another one do the best for the seller, and make sure that they do the best for the transaction, okay? No warranties. Broker makes no warranty or representation about the value of suitable loss of property for the buyer's purchase. Buyers agree to be responsible for making all inspections, acquires, and investigations. So if I'm going to recommend for them to do the inspections, they are responsible for it, right? You just recommend the inspector, you recommend that they should do it, but they are responsible for perform to order that. Okay, it's applicable laws, alternative dispute resolution and fees. So that meaning if you come to an attorney, they understand that instead of go directly to the court of law, they will go through arbitration to NAR. All right. Consumer information statement, buyer knowledge receive of the attached consumer information statement. So meaning that this form, you still need to attach the consumer information statement like you did before. Okay. Termination, buyer knowledge and understand that this agreement is legal, binding, exclusive contract between buyers and brokers that may be terminated according to Section 4, which we saw it already. So either the buyer or yourself as a broker can terminate this contract with a written notice 3 days prior to termination, okay? Buyer breach. If the agreement is not properly terminated by the buyer and buyer signs a broker agreement with another real estate broker, become effective the term of this. So meaning, if your buyer, and you need to, and it's important that I explain that to them when you sit down with them. If they sign, any buyer that we have in here, if they go tomorrow and sign with another realty, they are responsible for paying commission during the term during the term of your agreement. Okay. So if there's no break on the contract, if contract is in effect, if they sign with somebody else, they're responsible for pay probably both commissions to you and to the other agent, okay, to the brokerage. If broker breaches this agreement without notice, buyer being entitled to purchase the remedies available to buyer such breach, okay? So if you just decide not doing anything and don't cancel this contract, you're liable for some kind of punishments. Buyer agrees that if broker is not paid the commission set forth for this agreement at the closing or due to the breach of agreement, it's like this. At the closing, I don't know how is that going to happen, because you will send the commission bill to the title company and you should be received it. But if the contract is breached and you have to sue them for commission or something, you can get it. You can put a lien on the property that the buyer purchased from the amount of this agreement, plus interest of a rate of 10% per year and authority fees. All right? So it's very important that they understand this. They are signing an exclusive agreement with you, and in this case, the 3% from the purchase price. They have the right to cancel this contract at any time, give you a written notice, 3 days written notice, the same way that you can cancel this contract, give the same 3 days written notice, okay? If you have any other agreements, write it down here. You have plenty of lines in here for you to do it. Now, you gonna initial in here as an agent, so I'm the agent. I will gonna adapt and sign, so I will initial in here, and your client has to initial in here, all right? So this is the entire agreement, then you will sign, and your client will sign in here. Guys, make sure, it's very important that you go over all of these. I know it could be tedious. I know it could be hard to explain, but you have to go over and make sure you fill up everything. Don't put just the client name and nothing in here, like I see some, because like these, who's representing this buyer? Nobody. It's not your name, it's not your firm's name in here. All right? Very important. How do you represent your client? a dual agent, a designated agent, a buyer's agent only, whatever you decide during the first conversation, you will gonna put it in here. The term, when you start, when you finish. Guys, please go over this with your clients and fill it up everything. Commission from buyer. Again, we at New Russia Realty for the moment, we are not charging a retainer fee, okay? So, on our commission will be only percentage of the purchase price or a flat fee, okay? And you go over the document, you're gonna make sure that you fill it up in here on many days after your protection period, all right? You go over, you go explain to your client all of that. Again in here, you're gonna tell him how you want to see the houses, what kind of houses they want to see. You want to see everything that fits to you. You want to see the ones is just the sales pay commission. You will fill up everything, okay? All right, guys. So hopefully that this helped you a little bit today, because I've been seeing a lot of confusion in here. So hopefully we good with that, and oh, I was trying to put myself in here. Okay. All right, guys. I just like to be the center of the attention of the thing, so I want to put my face in here. So everything you see before, hopefully help you a little bit again. I know we talked about this many times already. I know that it's a lot of things going on, but still till today, I see mistakes. I see forms not completed. It's very important. It's very important, guys. Remember, you need to present this form to your buyers. You need to talk to them. We need to explain to them. Just don't fly over. Just don't put numbers there because you think that's they understand. You think they agree. You go over. You will explain it to them. You write it down. You have them sign at the end. And one thing very important: make sure you keep a copy. Make sure you give them a copy. All right. And you guys on New Russian Realty, you know what to do. You need to put these copies on the client's file on the dot loop. All right, guys. So any questions, let me know. And see you around. All right, guys.